Look, I'm not sure why you all are always so shocked when a discriminatory or racist law is passed or upheld in this country. I'm not going to even hold you. They used to eat us. Do you hear me? They wore our teeth as dentures. I don't understand where the shock comes from. There had to be a law put in place to say, hey, you can't own people. Do you hear what I'm saying? There was a war started because people wanted to own people in this country. There's no shock value left for us. We told you all. And the Supreme Court, 6-3, has said, yes, ICE can racially profile people. They can pull you over for no reason as long as you are Latino. That is not shocking. We have told you all that for years. Do you remember stop and frisk? Is anybody having like a memory lapse? Like, what's going on? That man, that walking piece of stomach bile is only magnifying, letting you see under the microscope what we've been told you. This country is racist. From the way that we had to cover our hair up to the reason why they just built entire highways through our doggone neighborhoods. The whole thing, racist.
Republicans hate being called racist, and I get it. It sucks to be painted with a broad brush in a negative way. So here's your chance to stand up. Yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration and ICE can continue stopping people based on their ethnicity, the language they speak, and the location they live. They can continue arresting people and harassing people, even if they're American-born citizens, because they look like they might be Latino or because they speak Spanish. That's xenophobic and racist. That is absolutely profiling. If that's not profiling, I don't know what that is. So here's your chance. Speak up, use your voice, and talk about how the Supreme Court got it wrong, and talk about how what Trump is doing and what the ICE administration is doing is objectively racial profiling, which is illegal, or at least it should be illegal. It used to be at some point in this country.
Really can't believe that we're getting here. This is coming from the Supreme Court. There's nothing to say otherwise. This is the final word. Justice Kavanaugh wrote separately that it was reasonable for law enforcement to go up, stop, and question people based on common sense criteria, including employment in day labor or construction and limited English proficiency. Speaking in not English or broken English. All three liberal justices on the Supreme Court dissented. They said, we shouldn't be living in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, or works a low-wage job. That sounds reasonable to me. I don't know how anyone can defend this. I don't know how anyone can support this unless you are pro-racial profiling or pro-socioeconomic profiling. Pro-profiling. Not sure if anyone's checked on Hispanics for Trump yet.
So a decision was made yesterday by the Supreme Court, approved by Donald Trump and company, that if you are a non-white man and you speak with a different dialect, have a different accent, speak with a little twang, they are liable to lock you up and place you in holding for a few days while they check your citizenship. If you happen to be a legal citizen, you get let go. Problem is, most jobs, if you go no contact with your job and you don't report that you went, took a break, got locked up, whatever the case may be, they are liable to fire you. So this is by design to not only try to get rid of people of color from this country, but to screw the people of color who are left in this country. And you guys said that ICE and Trump and all that is not about race. And y'all keep mentioning Obama, like leftists keep mentioning Obama for some weird reason. I don't know why. Because Obama wasn't doing this. Biden wasn't doing this. This is racism. Don't matter if you're Asian, Mexican, Pacific Islander, Haitian, Jamaican, don't matter. You speak with an accent and you ain't white, you're screwed. Mind you, this is what he's able to pull off the first 10 months in his second term as president. We didn't even hit the halfway marker yet. So I hope everybody who voted for him and didn't vote at all or voted third party, I hope y'all got what y'all wanted.
Guys, apparently the Supreme Court has made a controversial ruling that allows ICE agents to consider ethnicity, language, job type, and location when stopping people. Hey, beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. All credit goes to the creators in these videos. Guys, this decision by the Supreme Court, it removes the previous restrictions that were meant to prevent racial profiling. So if you remember, far back in July 2025, the federal court in Los Angeles blocked ICE patrols, right? And the court found that, okay, agents were stopping people based on, appearance, the language you speak, the job that you do, or even location, even when there was no reason to suspect them of being undocumented. And the court said that, oh, this actually violates the Fourth Amendment, which actually protects people from unreasonable searches. Fast forward to September, guys, the Supreme Court has lifted this order. And the justice says that ethnicity alone cannot justify suspicion, but it can be considered along other factors. Guys, what do you think in the comment section? Because this ruling has sparked serious and strong reactions, right? Some people are saying that it allows ICE to unfairly target residents, okay? And I feel that this will just make people feel anxious. It will make them feel unsafe. And it will make them feel worried about just stopping people arbitrarily, guys. Just stopping people arbitrarily, guys.
Supreme Court has officially allowed ICE to go after people based on race, ethnicity, and the language they speak. This decision was made after smaller courts had halted ICE's activities in Southern California because it was proven that they were targeting people based on their race and ethnicity. Now the Supreme Court has ruled that it's okay to racially profile people when it comes to detaining people for immigration. Not only that, ICE now has the okay to target people based on the language they speak and the types of jobs that they do, which means that they're also allowed to legally target employers who hire a lot of low-income BIPOC individuals. This ruling also allows ICE to detain anybody who happens to be at a workplace that is currently being raided. So for example, if you're at a car wash and ICE shows up to detain the employees, ICE can also detain you if you're just there getting your car washed. This decision has given ICE the power to indiscriminately detain anyone they want. I'm also already seeing a lot of news sources reporting how this is severely going to impact the Latino community, which it is. I don't want to downplay that. However, this is not going to stop at racially profiling people for speaking Spanish. They're going to start going after anybody speaking any language that isn't English. Again, they are not stopping at Latinos. They're going after all immigrants, and that includes Asian immigrants, African immigrants, anyone who's not ethnically white. This Supreme Court decision is terrifying, and it's made racial profiling and discrimination legal again. Everyone should be angry at this decision, and we should be warning everyone and preparing to protect our neighbors who are in danger.
ICE to racially profile you. Obviously, not everybody, but if you're brown, your race, ethnicity, if you speak Spanish, based off your occupation and based off your proximity to areas where there might be undocumented immigrants, like Home Depot, for example, that's enough reasonable suspicion. Any of those four. And what is actually insane is that all of those are assumptions, right? Assumptions that people will make about you and your citizenship status. But assumptions are not factual, right? They're not like you don't have any concrete evidence. They're kind of more like biases. And when you allow law enforcement to act off of their biases, I mean, that just does not sound right. That sounds like a recipe for
I also believe it
disaster.
sounds like a recipe for disaster, because just imagine stopping somebody because of the way they look, right? Just stopping somebody because of the color of their skin, or stopping somebody because you feel like, oh, this person looks like somebody that doesn't understand English. You look like somebody that speaks Spanish. You look like a Latino. You look like an Asian person. I mean, and economically, some people say that this would create job for legal workers. Like, make it make sense. Like, are the undocumented people, are they the ones I mean, this argument has gone on and on and on and on. They are not the ones taking your jobs, okay? Because even these jobs that were occupied by them are left hanging now because there is nobody that wants to do them. So this ruling that, or this argument that is saying that this will create jobs for legal workers as undocumented workers are deported, nah. I do not agree with that. And so many experts have spoken. They are saying that the negative effects will outweigh the benefits, and I believe so too. I feel so too, because the fear of ICE can stop or discourage people from working, shopping, or paying taxes or doing things as they will. Businesses that rely on immigrant labor will now start facing worker shortages. Like, they already have worker shortages. Just imagine, people have the level of confidence of each person differ. So the level of confidence I have is different from the level of confidence that you have. So if I say that, okay, I'm going out, I'm confident in myself that even if an ICE agent stops me, I have the ability to defend myself. But you, even if you are a citizen, but you are afraid of this ICE agents, and at the end of the day, you end up going out and stopped, and you cannot even defend yourself, even though you are a US citizen, you would have been rounded up before you have the, before you can comport yourself and defend yourself that, oh yeah, I'm a US citizen. And stuff like that, things happen on different, different reasons, different occasions and all of that. And communities will just feel unsafe. It can affect schools, it can affect local markets, it can affect the host. Guys, these reasons, it just goes on and on and on. But guys, let me know
Today,
your
the Supreme
thoughts in
Court
the
decided
comments.
that ICE can profile people based on race, ethnicity, and speaking Spanish. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version in case you haven't been following this story. Essentially, back in July, an LA judge decided that the ICE raids had to stop because there was a, quote, mountain of evidence that they were violating people's constitutional rights by rounding people up and detaining them simply for being brown and speaking Spanish. So today, the higher court, the Supreme Court, blocked that lower court decision, which means the ICE raids will amplify again. I need you to understand that the reason an officer can't just say you looked at them funny and then throw you behind in jail is because the Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. This applies to citizens and non-citizens. Hopefully I don't have to explain why it is both a constitutional crisis and an attack on democracy if this amendment is not being respected. The checks and balances are no longer in the room with us. The Supreme Court is fully doing the bidding of the executive branch.
Is state-sanctioned racism. It criminalizes people just for simply existing. And now the conservative-led Supreme Court is backing it. By greenlighting ICE stops, they've basically ruled that brown skin is probable cause. And that means families will be torn apart, not because of crime, but because of the color of their skin, because of racism. ICE doesn't make us safe. It makes communities live in fear. And that's why it's time to abolish them. Criminalizing immigrants is not about justice. It's about a strategy to divide working people. They want black, brown, and white working class people to fight each other instead of focusing on the real enemy, and that's this capitalist system that's killing millions of people every single day while billionaires continues to rob us blind. This isn't about law and order. This is about control, fascism, authoritarianism, and racism. The more we allow them to use immigration, weaponize immigration, the more we allow them to distract us from building solidarity that we need to tear this extreme system.
So guys, what do you think can be done? Because this Supreme Court ruling is a major shift in the US immigration policy, and why the supporters are saying it strengthens law enforcement. Most people, majority of people are saying that it encourages racial profiling, it's harming the community, and it can lead to economic and social problems. Guys, this case is still under appeal, and the federal hearing is scheduled for sometimes ending of this month, September. But let me know what you think in the comment section. I really want to hear from you. If you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.